Hi, this is the Knowledge Catalog's Earth and Space Science, and this is the fifth video in the Earth and Space Science series. So yeah, welcome if you're new here. This is the fifth video, so you may want to move backwards or just to search my playlist on the Knowledge Catalog's Earth and Space Science so that you will begin from the top. Pero if you would like to still proceed, given that you know already what this video is going to be all about, you can, of course, always proceed. Alright, so this video is divided into the following parts. The first part being a pre-assessment, which has multiple choices. So if you're a teacher, you can actually use these as some choice items for your assessment. And then don't worry, after the pre-assessment, after we give the questions for this pre-assessment, we are going to check it. Okay, so I'll be showing you the correct answers for each of the questions. The second part is activity number 1, when the sun's rays strike. Alright, so this activity is about how latitude affects climate. And then after that, we'll be having a discussion on the effects of latitude to climate. Realize that this is part of a series. So that means kung halimbawa, meron kang hindi gets dito, it means you have to look back again at the previous videos. Okay, so the learning competency that we are developing here is learning competency number 5, which is explaining how different factors affect the climate of an area, which is S9ES IIIb-230. Actually, that's 23. No, that's 30. Okay, hindi ko lang siya na-edit na maayos. Ayan. So, also, in our learners module, you can follow through with it by using it. It's in Unit 3, Module 2, pages 20 to 31. So, what are we using for? Let's begin. Ayan. So, get your notebook and your pen or pencil, and then answer the following question. For the first question in this pre-assessment, how does the windward side differ from the leeward side of a highland? So A, the windward receives more precipitation than the leeward. B, the leeward side has more vegetation than the windward side. C, the windward side receives more heat than the leeward side. And D, the leeward side receives more precipitation than the windward side. You're given 5 seconds to answer this question. Let's proceed with the next question. Question number 2. What happens to the temperature of air when altitude rises? A, remains the same. B, increases. C, decreases. Or D, none of these. Question number 3. Which among the following statements best describes climate? A, the weather that occurs in the atmosphere within the day. B, the pattern of weather that occurs in a region over a long period of time. C, the pattern of weather that occurs in a region over a short period of time. Or is it D, the disturbance in the atmosphere that happens in a long period of time? Question number 4. Why are the coldest places on Earth are found at the poles? Is it A, great amount of gaseous particles trap heat from the surface? B, an amount of thermal radiation is received by these areas. Or what I mean is great amounts of thermal radiation is received by these areas. C, less amount of thermal radiation is received by these areas. Or D, less amount of gaseous particles trap heat from the surface. Question number 5. What will happen when the rates of evaporation and condensation are equal? A, clouds form. B, the dew point is reached. C, the humidity increases. Or is it D, precipitation occurs? Question number 6. Which of the following can cause global warming? A, volcanic eruptions. B, the amount of rainfall. C, the rising of warm air into the atmosphere. And D, increase of amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Question number 7. When does greenhouse effect happen? A. Greenhouse gases on the surface absorb heat from the atmosphere. B. Greenhouse gases on the surface absorb heat from the Earth's interior. C. Greenhouse gases in the upper atmosphere absorb heat from outer space. And then D. Greenhouse gases in the lower atmosphere absorb heat from the Earth's surface. Question number 8. Which activity does not contribute to global warming? A. Reforestation. B. Illegal fishing. C. Mining activities. D. Incineration of garbage. Question number 9. City A is surrounded by bodies of water and has a moderate climate. It is located near the equator. What will most likely affect the climate of the city? A. Latitude. B. Altitude. C. Topography. D. All of the above. Question number 10. This is the last item in this pre-assessment. Question number 10. Which of the following is an indication of global warming? A. Rising of sea level. B. Decrease of global temperature. C. Coastal erosion. D. Strong waves in the ocean. You may now finalize your answers. Let us check your work. The answer to question number 1 is A. The windward receives more precipitation than the leeward side. The answer to question number 2 is C. Decreases. The answer to question number 3 is B. The pattern of weather that occurs in a region over a long period of time. The answer to question number 4 is C. Less amount of thermal radiation is received by these areas. The answer to question number 5 is B. Precipitation occurs. The answer to question number 6 is D. Increase of the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The answer to question number 7 is D. Greenhouse gases in the lower atmosphere absorb heat from the Earth's surface. The answer to question number 8 is A. Reforestation or reforestation. The answer to question number 9 is D. All of the above. The answer to the last question is A. Rising of sea level. How did you do? Okay, so count the number of correct answers. Okay, and then record your score on the upper right-hand corner of your answer sheet. So if you are using your science notebook, you may record it on the upper right-hand corner of the page where you wrote your answers to this pre-assessment. Okay, let's continue. This ends the first part of this session. Let us now proceed with the following part, which is activity number 1, when the sun's rays strike. Okay, so we have the following objective. For this activity, by the end of this activity, you should be able to explain how latitude affects climate. So kailangan alam mo nang i-explain by the end of this activity kung paano naapektuhan ng latitude yung climate over a place. Okay, so the materials you will be needing are the following: sheets of paper and a pencil. Okay, let's proceed. So I would like you to study the following illustration. This represents the planet, and it has these axes right here. It's just an axis. It's singular. It's this imaginary line na tinutuhog ang ating planeta sa may bandang gitna ng north, sa may North Pole, and then sa may South Pole. And then this line right here, you know what this is called, right? Yeah, this is the equator. So it also shows here some information which I will leave it to you. How will you be interpreting that? And then if you are standing on, of course, on our planet right here, how will you be oriented from, the sun's rays? So paano yung orientation ng sun's rays when they hit you? Okay, I will be giving you a moment to study this illustration. But if you think you need more time, you can always pause this video. Okay, I think you're ready to answer the following questions. Okay, get your science notebook and label it activity number 1 when the sun's rays strike. Okay, so answer question number 1. How much is the tilt of the Earth's axis? So, yeah, how much is the tilt of the Earth's axis? I am not going to lead you to the answer because I will be leaving it to your comprehension, what you understand from this question. So how much is the tilt of the Earth's axis? You may pause this video if you need some more time. If you have decided to continue, let us proceed with question number 2. Which part of the Earth receives more of the sun's rays? Actually, most of the sun's rays. So which part of the Earth is going to receive that much sun ray? Okay, if you can count them. Question number 3. Okay, so if you need more time, you can pause this video. Ayan, kala ko bibigla kita eh. If you have decided to continue, let us proceed with question number 3. Why does the amount of heat received by places far from the equator become less? So, why does it become less? As the place moves away from the equator, bakit nababawasan yung amount of heat, of thermal energy na nare-receive nila from the sun? Ba't kaya ganon? You may pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us proceed with question number 4. Why are the coldest places on Earth found near the poles? So, medyo kahawig niya sa question number 3. Okay, would you agree? Okay, so if you have an idea kung ano yung tinatanong na question number 4, ibig sabihin malinaw din sa iyo yung question number 3. So if you need more time, you can pause this video. If you have decided to continue, let us proceed with question number 5. Why are places with high temperature found at the equator or found near the equator? Ba't kaya ganon? Okay, ready for question number 6? If you need more time, you can pause this video. But if you are ready for question number 6, let us proceed with it. And it's the last question for this activity. How does latitude affect climate? So this is sort of the generalization. Okay, so this is where you formulate your generalization. Remember, a latitude is an imaginary line that is actually, it depends upon what we mean about the horizon. Pero it's an imaginary line that is parallel to the equator. So if the equator is a line, an imaginary line that cuts the planet into the northern and the southern hemisphere, then the latitudes are these imaginary lines that are parallel to the equator. So if a particular place lives in a particular latitude, how does that affect its climate? If you need more time in explaining your answer, you can pause this video. If you have decided to continue, di kita mapipigilan. Okay, let's answer the questions that were asked of you. But yeah, I will remind you, I will give you one last chance to finalize your answers. Ready? Okay. The answer to question number 1 is 23.5 degrees. So it's this number right here. The tiltation of the Earth's axis. It is not like sa orbit natin, we're not a perfect 90-degree, axis. So it's tilted 23.5 with respect to the vertical. So with respect to the y-axis. Okay. Question number 2, the answer is equator. So it's the region, or if you say near the equator, that's also accepted. So it is receiving most of the sun's rays. Okay. Question number 3. It is due to the tilting of the Earth's axis and the shape of the Earth. So the tiltation of the Earth's axis and the shape of the Earth. So those are the 2 important factors na kailangan mong tandaan in answering this question. Kung bakit yung amount of thermal energy na nare-receive ng mga places na malayo sa equator is becoming less. So those are the 2 things that you need to remember. The answer to question number 4 is they receive less amount of thermal energy or of heat. They are receiving less. The answer to question number 5 is due to the tilting of the Earth's axis, places near the equator receive more heat, making the air temperature higher. So dahil sa pagkakatilt ng ating axis, yung mga places na malalapit sa equator, they are receiving more heat, more thermal energy. Kaya mas matataas ang kanilang mga temperatures. Okay. And then the answer to question number 6, which is the last question for this activity. So it states that when the area is farther from the equator, kapag mas malayo yung area sa equator, the air temperature is lower, resulting in a cold climate. So mas lumalamig. Pero kapag halimbawa yung place naman is closer to the equator, the air temperature is higher, which results in a warm climate. So in the Philippines, malapit tayo sa equator, diba? Kaya tayo, mainit yung panahon natin. So, yun yung dahilan. So, this is the generalization of this activity of the concept of latitude, okay, and how it affects climate. So, I hope that you know how to explain it in your own words. Sige nga, tell me. In Filipino. Okay, so, just between you and yourself. Sige nga, answer this question. Paano naaapektuhan ng latitude yung climate ng isang place? Sige nga. Sige, you may now answer it. Okay. So if you're not done answering it, I'm so sorry. Okay, but I would like you to write down that answer which you gave me. I think it is given in Filipino, right? So write that answer down. Okay, that answer that you gave me that is said in Filipino, write it down. Tapos remember it. Para it is going to become one of the fundamental definitions of this concept, latitude and climate. Ayan. Okay, so yeah, we're done with activity number 1, when the sun's rays strike. Do you have questions? If you have questions, we'll be addressing them through the comment section. So you can drop your question in the comment section. Okay, let us now proceed with the next and last part of this session, which is a discussion about the effects of latitude to climate. Yeah, I know. Ito rin yung ginawa natin kanina. Yes, pero we're just going to say something more. Okay, siguro we'll be taking some details pa. Okay, such as the following. So, this is the region near the equator that is called the tropical zone. And then, this one right here, okay, it's between, so after this region, yung upper end ng tropical zones, and then before the start of the polar zone, is a temperate zone. Ito naman yung temperate zone sa may ilalim. So, this temperate zone is between the Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer. And then this temperate zone naman is between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. And then the Arctic Circle is a polar zone in the north, and then the Antarctic Circle is a polar zone in the south. The term latitude refers to the imaginary horizontal lines on the Earth They are described in terms of degrees and progresses from 0, which is the equator, and then 90 degrees, which is in the poles. So this is in respect with the center of the planet. So 0 is for the equator, and then 90 degrees into the poles. Ayan. So it can either be the north or the south pole. So in figure 84, you can see that the areas near the equator are the tropical zones, and then this means that they are receiving more sunlight than in any other area. Okay, so ang init. Ang init sa atin, sa zone na to. This is the tropical zone. And the Philippines is found. Its islands are found within the tropical zone. Kaya yan. Ayan. Okay, so that's fast, right? Okay, so let's now sum up everything that we learned or everything that we did in this session. So first, we did a pre-assessment, multiple choices. And then we did the activity number 1, when the sun's rays strike. And then we concluded with a discussion on the effects of latitude to climate. Remember that we are mastering this learning competency number 5, which is explain how different factors affect the climate of an area. So you're about to close your book in page 31, but wait, okay? Remember that you are supposed to continue this with an asynchronous session, with another asynchronous session. So make sure that you have completed all of your required sessions so that wala kayong ma-miss sa ating mga discussions. This is the Knowledge Catalog, and I'm Sir CJ. I am hoping that you will be showing some support in this channel by liking this video, if especially kapag meron naman kayong natutunan kahit papaano. Alright, and then by leaving a comment, a positive one, a negative one, both of them are taken constructively, and by subscribing to this channel. So if you also would like to spare some more time, why don't you click on that bell button next to the subscribe button? Yeah, can you do that for me? Excellent. Alright, so I'll be seeing you in the next video. I'm hoping to see you in the next video. So this is the Knowledge Catalog. Have a good day.